Good morning and welcome to Coull Discussions. I'm Barry. This is Chris. Today, I'm going to rant a little bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about some life experiences that have been happening. Well, one particular, and then I'm just going to talk about other stuff that I see and hearing about, and it's making me kind of scratch my head and question. And at the end, I'll give you why I'm talking about this kind of crap, maybe, and why I think that it's important. So as we know, we took a little bit of time off because my wife hurt herself back in March. And she's been off of work for this whole time. She has not been able to go back to work because of her injury. It was first thought of to be a dislocated kneecap, which it was. But that part of her body is healed. That part is healed, and now it's suspected to be a torn ACL. So she's going to have to get an MRI, which surprisingly was scheduled. It's scheduled for this Thursday coming up.
Oh, really?
Surprisingly.
Oh, wow. Okay.
When they told us it would be 6 to 8 month wait time, so surprising, which is good. So we'll know.
When Kim had to do a couple of CAT scans, actually, we were really surprised just how quickly it ended up happening. However, again, like you, we were told it was going to be
A long time, because we have our free healthcare up here in Canada, and that's part of the downside of having the free healthcare is that it's a little bit longer. Okay, a lot longer. But wait, if you pay for it, you can get it the next damn day.
Yes.
But there are places you can pay here in Canada that you can get. But I don't know how much it is.
They don't quite do the two-tier health system quite yet.
I've heard actually they have like EFW radiology. You can pay for a CAT scan and get it in right away. I don't know, if it's true or not.
But that's the thing, if you're rich enough to be able to afford to pay for one, we should let them do it.
Absolutely. Or if you have insurance.
If they want to do it, yeah, sure. Or if you have insurance, yeah, sure, go ahead.
I was going to look into it to see if our mine out, because both of us have insurance through our work, so we were going to look into it. If after her next appointment was still the same, we were going to see if we could get it faster, but came through. Hey, right on.
Yeah.
So good on Canada healthcare. That's not the reason that I'm ranting, though. Because whatever.
Not yet.
That's a whole different part. So after her last appointment, her doctor gave her a note for some restrictions. I showed you what they said, right?
Yeah.
And they said that, so she submitted the note to her work, and they had to call the doctor's office for clarification. And so they got the clarification back, and the clarification was, I thought it was completely misinterpreted. Right?
Oh, yes.
She was told, the note pretty much says that she can't stand for more than 2 hours, taking a break every 15 minutes. They interpret that as stand for 2 hours, take a 15-minute break. So the person on the other end of her work, I will not reveal where she works. Okay, so don't even ask. Don't. Interpret that she could work a 7-hour shift, with a total break time of 1 hour. Said that she can't walk for more than half an hour. She can't pivot, kneel, or squat. She works in a retail establishment. I'll give that out. So there you go. That's 90% of her job is walking.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever, some time passes there. It's been 2 weeks. And we've been like, what's going on? What's happening here? They got to talk to these people. And it's like, okay, well, let us know what's going on so we can get insurance money or get her back to work. So they came back to us and said, we're going to get you back to work. They said in this long email, it's their policy that if they can get you back to work, they have to. And the person said that they've talked to her boss, her district manager, and all these people, and they've given the okay to go back to work. Me personally, I thought it was wrong. I was like, you're getting screwed over. You can't go back to work. Your restrictions, nobody can work around the restrictions that you get. Unless you're working in an office job, that's the only thing that she could do. So I said, you need to email her back.
Could they prop her up, though? Just
No.
give her a chair and she sits behind the desk?
No, we'll get into
the
clarification. So I said, you need to email this lady back. I was mad. I was fuming. I was ready just to lose my mind because I was like, you guys are being idiots. Okay? So I said, you need to email her back for clarification, you said. And so then, I said, just ask her if she sat down with your boss, your district manager, and if you guys have an outline plan to prevent her from injuring herself more.
Mm-hmm.
So we send that away. A couple hours later, we get another email back. Oh, I'm just getting in touch with our HR department to discuss this further. I'm like, well, that's weird. You already said that you talked to your HR department. That's funny. I said, you need to call your doctor and see the clarifications for yourself and see if somebody's called and talked to you. So you try to get a hold of the doctor, you leave a message, right?
Yep.
Next day it rolls around. I'm still mad. I'm at work and I'm just thinking about this is going to be a fight, right? I'm like, okay, I need to figure out how we're going to deal with this, how we're going to get through this, right? Because they were going to put her back to work on Monday, this coming Monday. She gets a phone call from her benefits person. Hello, we've, after further discussion, we've decided that we cannot accommodate your restrictions anymore. Blah, and a whole bunch of, like, just, can you call me back, right? I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, when, right? Yes. Doctor's office phones my wife back. Oh, hey, I'm just looking for clarification on my note. She goes over the note. The person in the reception says, oh, I would just take that note how you interpret it. Okay, no problems. So her work interpreted it wrong. Okay. And then the question of, did anybody from my work contact you? Oh, yeah, I think we talked to somebody from work yesterday. And this was on Thursday, so referring to Wednesday of this past week. And I'm like, oh, really?
So they had said...
I'm like, they talked to you 2 weeks ago.
They said they talked to you 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Your doctor 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they said
but instead, the first time that they had talked to you was just a couple days ago.
Pretty much. And I was like, what? And I'm like, all I'm thinking in this whole situation, and this is why I kind of wanted to rant about it, and, you know, when you're working for a company, you have to remember that this company is in business for profit. And they're in business to make money. And not put the health or the well-being of you, me, say me, or you, first. And this just goes to prove it. Again, I'm not going to smear the company all over the interwebs. I'm not, because that's not what I'm going to do. Because it all worked out in the end. It was just a matter of how it got there. You know what I mean? And I just encourage people to ask questions. I encourage people to always, if something doesn't make sense to you, if your brain goes, if your first instinct is something from your work is what?
Go.
Why?
Ask. A question.
Don't be scared to ask. Don't be scared, because you know what? Essentially, we caught these people in a lie. Because they gave us some, due to the square footage of her store, because it's a big place that she works in, we've decided we can't work with your restrictions. And all I could think of was, well, wasn't this part of your discussion in the first place? They were like, 90% of your day would be walking. And I'm like, this not in your original discussions that you said that you had? They said we went over your restrictions in detail, and we've decided we can take you back to work. And I'm like, well, so you didn't do your due diligence. You just blowing smoke at your ass, trying to get her back to work so you don't have to pay any benefits anymore. You know, and it's like, so my thought is just, you know, is exactly that. Why are they just trying to do that? Because, so she goes back to work, hurts herself more, then what? You know what I mean? It's like, we're not doctors. I'm not a doctor. They're not doctors. They don't have a right to be just doing something like that with somebody's potential long-term health. If it's a small tear in her ACL, which it could be, and it tears all the way because she went back to work early, now we need surgery when we could have just had
more rest,
rehab and rest, because we don't know 100% what it is yet. You know what I mean? And that's my rant about that. You know, it's just that it just shows you that when you think that no matter how long you've been with a company, you think that they have your best interest in. I don't believe it.
I always do this. Now, not all companies are like this. A lot of maybe not a lot of companies. In my experience, no companies. In my personal experience, no companies actually look out for the well-being of their employees. Now, there are companies that do care, that try to make things better, that actually, you know, try to go that extra mile. But for the most part, for you guys out there, you tell us. You tell us what you've run across. Because personally, I've run into too many bad situations.
Don't get me wrong. Like they've been really good.
Yeah.
Like they've been good in dealing with the situation and stuff like that. She didn't hurt herself at work.
Yeah.
And we're getting insurance through the benefits through her work, so it's great that way.
See,
but it's just a matter of this last week is like, well, what are you guys doing? Like, why are you sitting here trying to pull a fast one on us? And it's like, like. Some people wouldn't ask questions, and they would just be like, okay, this is the decision they make, because you think that people in these positions are like, are trained in these situations and trained in these experiences to know that, hey, this is what's in best interest of you. But you got to remember that the only person who thinks about the best interest of you is yourself and probably your immediate family.
Well, first off, know your rights. Know what the laws are.
Yes.
Know how your insurance works. Because if you don't know how your insurance works, they're not going to help you.
No.
They're not going to sit there and go, oh, you got to fill out Form A, Y, T, and W.
They're going to give you the runaround.
They're going to go, oh, go fill out A, and then you go hand in A. It's like, well, you need W to go with it. It's like, well, you didn't say that. It's like,
They're going to do everything they can to avoid paying. That's what insurance is. It's
and it's
payment
funny.
Avoidance.
It's funny because I've had conversations at work and we've talked about insurance, and two guys state, oh, insurance people are out there for you. They pay every time and they help you out. And I'm like, really? Are you sure?
Have you ever had a complicated claim? That's that. Like, if it's an easy claim, if it's a prescription, it's like, yeah, okay, no problem's easy. But if it's something where it's a little bit more complicated, where it's like the disability stuff like that, it's a little, there's so much more red tape to go through, and it's frustrating, and it gets you frustrated as an individual, and it gets you frustrated as a family, and you're just like, we just want to know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, what is going on? Just give us an answer quick. Like, don't sit here and lollygag around. You know what I mean? Because if she went back to work, it would have been 2 weeks of just nothing. You know what I mean? And it's like, so I told her, next time you go to the doctor, make sure he's clear on these notes. He was pretty clear on the notes. Like, the notes were English.
Well, that's the problem with English too, is that it is open for interpretation. One person will read one sentence and another person will read the same sentence and come to two different conclusions.
They read it how it benefits them, though. Like in a situation like that. It's like when you make a documentary.
That's very true. It's always
geared a little bit towards the
person's thinking. Very true. It's one of those weird things. It's as he said, your employer is looking out for themselves. They are trying to make money, and one of the ways they make money is by using you. Now, it may sound harsh, but think about it. Walmart has an incredibly high turnover rate for a store, and if any other company ever had a high turnout rate like that, they would never survive. But because of how big they are, and just the lack of caring, for example, how often do you have to look around to find somebody to help you at a Walmart? When you look around looking for help, how often is somebody there? In my opinion, never. They're never around.
This guy hates Walmart like I hate the government. It's great.
But okay, no. So, they just churn things out, and because they churn it out, it works for them. Somehow everything just
always remember to put yourself first. You know what I mean? I know that we're in a society, and we live in a society over here in the West, North America, where it's like we're expected to just work. Your success is based on your work, and it's like you work 50 hours a week and you're successful because you are, you're high up in the company. Meanwhile, your family's falling apart because you're never home and you're never.
Our culture is nowhere near as bad as Japanese culture, because in Japan it is a work culture. Your success is based off of your work. Some people literally work themselves to death. They have fallen over dead at work, fallen over dead because of work. Sometimes they work 50, 60, 70 hours a week, and they don't get paid.
That's the thing. I used to, when I was younger, I used to be like, oh, I need to work hard to to be successful and to move up in companies and to yada yada yada, and then it's so some went in my brain. I don't know what it was, and I went, why do I need to I need to focus on myself and my family and go, because this here, my family unit is gonna be the only thing that's there for me when I don't have a job. When I didn't have employment for a couple months, who was there for me? It wasn't my previous jobs that I gave 9 years, 10 years of my life to. No, it was my family. You know what I mean? It was people who. It was those people. It wasn't the people that I used to work with. It wasn't the companies that I used to work for. And I understand that. Don't get me wrong. Okay, I'm not bitching about business. I get it. People get fired. It happens. I don't care. Whatever. Okay, but I just think that as an employee, you need to stand up for yourself and just, number one, know your rights, because so many people don't know their rights. They don't understand labor laws. They don't understand. They just don't. You don't. How many people actually know the laws that I can work?
How many people know how overtime works? How many people know how stat holidays?
People just think overtime works as 8 hours a day. And it's like, well, it works as 44 hours a week or 8 hours a day, whichever your company policy is.
Actually, whichever is greater.
Yeah, and it's like, people don't realize that you only
companies. Now, here's the thing. Companies can have their own overtime agreements, which is actually against the law. It does state in Alberta law that you cannot enter into an overtime agreement with your employer. It is stated as anything over 44 hours a week or 8 hours a day, whichever is greater.
So, people don't realize that you could work 27 days in a row, get 4 days off at the end of the month. You only need 4 days off a month. I thought that was pretty interesting when I found that out.
Really?
Yeah, it's not 1 day a week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's something I didn't know either. Yeah, it's very important. And another thing is, too, know what your insurance does and doesn't cover. Just going to a dentist and going, oh, well, my insurance company will cover it. And the dentist goes, no, you owe us money.
Exactly.
It's like, dentists cost a lot of money.
And another thing that I find is that your employer knows nothing about your insurance premiums. Nothing. 90% of your insurance premiums, you need to contact your insurance company and ask about.
Because there is possibilities you actually have people that know what they're talking about.
In bigger companies, you have benefits departments and HR departments.
Sorry, our HR department doesn't know squat. It's pointless trying to ask our HR department anything because they just don't know anything.
And this leads me to my second part of my rant. It's along the same lines of questioning and stuff like that. And I think as you can tell by the previous shows that we have put out, my thought process towards government and how it is and how I think about it. And just recently, because of the Notley government and the Trudeau government, there's been a lot of, and what's happening in the U.S. as well with Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. I've noticed a lot of people are putting up little memes on the interwebs, on Facebook, and you're seeing a whole bunch of stuff flash out of the way that I've thought for years, and the way that I've looked at society and government for many, many years. And I just think that the questioning thing applies to that as well. You should always question your government. Always question. You don't realize the power that we have as a society, as people. We need to be smart about it. Like right now, we're going to get taxed out of our rear end starting in January in Alberta. Because of this carbon tax. You know what I mean? And there's things saying, most people are just going to get it back. And it's like, well, why are you even taxing in the first place then?
Oh, is it? It's going to generate about $3 billion a year. So think about that. A tax, $3 billion out of the economy, doesn't go towards anything. And then they said $2 billion of it's going to be refunded to poor families. And it's just like, well, what's the point? It doesn't make a lot of sense. So it's kind of like,
It's just frustrating because I think that people think they have a voice because they check a little tick box on a piece of paper on election day, and it's like I don't think people realize how much your voice isn't that. You know what I mean? That's not a voice. That's just you being a sheep going to a polling box and doing what we're supposed to do because we're questioned. We're taught in. I have no idea where we're taught this.
School.
Are we taught this in school? I don't remember.
Voting, yeah.
Like
now the thing about politics is that even after you've cast your ballot, you should actually be trying to be active in the political field. You should have a membership to a political party so that way you can join grassroots meetings, and these grassroots meetings are where policies for your party are actually developed, as well as grievances can be aired. If you have an elected representative. And because what they do is they actually, have meetings, and you attend these meetings, and you sit there and go, well, why isn't this being done? You can actually grill your MP or MLA and find out certain things.
Have you ever been to one of those meetings?
No, I've never, because for the most part,
we just take it up the ass and deal with it. That's what we do as a society.
It's true. As a society, we just generally tend to take it up the butt. I don't go because of the hours that I work.
Yeah, I don't go because I don't see a point. It's not going to do anything. It's not. One person, me, myself, I can't fight. I can't have my pitchfork and
but,
you need a whole.
In the day of social media, things are a lot different.
Things are a lot easier.
If you're going to these grassroots meetings, you're going to have at least be able to say something.
We all know the problem. Like, we all sit here, everybody who talks when you talk around the water cooler at work about the recent election or whatever, there's people who support the NDP because they won. I don't know how, there's people who support Trudeau because he won. You know what I mean?
Well, I had somebody actually say, I voted for Trudeau because I wanted to be on the winning side. And it's like, wow.
That's democracy right there.
Yeah.
Fucking A. Like... We just need a complete shift in ideology of politicians and how politics works. We've been doing the same thing for 100 years, and it's the same result. Everybody complains, everybody bitches, and it's like, well, obviously we don't want to change. Who wants? I saw this great meme. Somebody on a podium. Who wants change? Everybody puts up their hand. Who wants to change? Everybody puts their hand down.
Well, it's a fear-mongering thing. Right now, 2017, there's going to be city elections, and all of a suddenly, because we just actually had our taxes property taxes come out, and there's been drastically huge increases for a bunch of people. One business went from 36,000
to like 50
to 55,000,
and they had to go to business. Businesses have gone out of business.
He closed his doors. He says, "I can't do this." And all of a sudden, all of a sudden, have all these city councilors going, "Oh, we should make next year a 0% increase in taxes." Yeah. And it's like,
you've already fucked us, and now you're trying to.
There's one lady who's been on city council for 14 years and has been a yes vote for a city tax increase for every single one of those years. And all of a sudden, she said, "Oh, we should hit 0." And it's like, the problem is, when people go to vote, they're going to forget that this person has been responsible for a tax increase for so long that they just vote for him. And the city ones I've become really frustrated in, because the cities, I just find that everybody just keeps voting them in, and it's just like, you people complain about them, but you don't want to vote for somebody else
because you're scared. You're scared to change. You're scared for something different, and I get it. I understand that. I understand you're scared for something. It's like when you have a child, your significant other is pregnant, or you adopt a child, whatever. There's a lot of fear that goes in through you because it's going to change your life. It's going to be something completely different. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And this is the same thing. When you put somebody in there who's not just this carbon cutout of a politician, it's scary because you don't know what they're going to do. Don't worry, they can't ruin your country more than the people who are doing it now already are. You know what I mean?
The worst that happens is you get screwed for 4 years. Oh, wait, we already are.
You know what I mean? Like, people sit here and blame NDP governor and Rachel Notley for how Alberta's economy is going. It's like, whoa.
It's not entirely
the economy was. They're just piling on top of it.
Yeah,
they're just not making it better. Worse. They're not trying to fix the problem. They're just making it worse.
Yeah, because when she won, I will defend the NDP in this regards. When she won, she inherited a really crap shit show, right? She inherited that, and now she's not making it better. She's making it worse, and things are going to hell because of that. But if she had just stayed the course and not done the things she's done, we wouldn't be half bad.
And I think that's where, when you look at the United States and Donald Trump, we'll use Donald Trump. He is so different from the carbon cutout. You have like Donald Trump. You have Hillary Clinton. Carbon cutout of a politician, Hillary Clinton.
You look up career politician and you get a picture of Hillary Clinton.
You look.
Her and her husband have made a living, $100 million. Since he became president, they've made $100 million being politicians.
And you look at that, and people are scared of Donald Trump. And you know why they're scared of him? Because he has radical ideas. Are they right? I don't know. Are they wrong? I
don't know.
Will they work? There's only one way to find out. Because the U.S. might find out how if it's going to work or not. Because
if I have to take a guess, I say Trump is going to win.
Oh my god,
he's going to be president this November.
Yikes! Yeah, that's going to be weird. That's going to be different, and I look forward to seeing if he does win, and if it flukes out and it works. How many countries follow suit? Because everybody looks at the U.S. and goes, "What are they doing over there?
They're crazy."
And they're crazy, but they worked, and you're like, "What?"
Uh-oh.
Next thing you know, we're going to have Michael J. Fox as our...
Here's the thing. People are getting fed up with regular politicians, and there are political parties coming up from the woodworks going, we want change. And a lot of European countries are seeing some effects of that change because of the type of parliament that they have. They have equal representation. So, out of a parliament of 300, if 50% vote for one party and 25 for another and 10 for one, that's what you get in parliament.
Yeah.
So they're starting to see all these fringe parties getting a percentage of the vote and starting to become in parliament. And when they're there, they're not acting like they're a small party. They're going raw and making a noise, and it's starting to happen. So Trudeau, he got elected because he wanted sunny ways in different ways.
He got elected because he wants to legalize marijuana.
Wow, yeah, that's always a possibility. But okay, either way, that is as far left as you can take a political party, is legalizing pot. So if that's why he got it, okay, fine. But he still has to make it through 3.5 years, and we'll kind of go from there.
He doesn't have to do anything. He's there. We can't get him out now. He can just sit on his thumb and take selfies all day, and you know what I mean. That's all he has to do. We're sitting here talking about changing national anthems in bathrooms, and when our provinces and our country are billions of dollars in debt.
Oh, you could even just go. There's a bigger debate in Parliament about changing our national anthem to be gender neutral, and yet, even though a bunch of our allies in NATO have called genocide in Iraq, the Trudeau government is like, oh no, we're going to wait for the UN to say that it's genocide, and then we'll make a vote about it.
It just makes no sense, and it frustrates me because you sit here and you hear people just talking when you're talking with people, and they're exactly what the government wants people to be. Just little sheep who fall into line, maybe complain a little bit, but with a little bit of prodding, a little bit of spanking or something, they just get back in line and keep going to those ballot boxes, and it's again, it comes back to the who wants change? Well, we all want change. Who wants to change? Nobody. Nobody wants to change, and so until people want to change, then nothing's going to happen. We're just gonna we're gonna vote PC back in at a federal level. We're gonna vote Wild Roads or PC in at a provincial level next election, and we're just gonna go back in the same circle of insanity, guys. I just had to rant because that was on my brain.
No,
there was no general direction of my conversation.
Here we are attempting to make people think, and by trying to make you guys think, we are learning things that we wouldn't otherwise know. We do actually do a fair amount of research when we talk about these things. Rants are rants. Anybody can do one. And you've seen us rant before, so... but our rants try to be educated, so that way we can make you think.
All we're trying to do is just get people asking the questions. Ask the question of why. Ask the question of how. Those are the two most important questions you could ever ask anything.
And what
anybody. And you know what a good leader will do? They'll have the answers of how and why. You know what a bad leader will do? They'll talk about bathrooms and national anthems.
Thanks for listening. You can subscribe to us on YouTube and iTunes. You can like us on YouTube and Facebook.
That's right.
Facebook, and you can Twitter us on Twitter.
New videos every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
And there we go.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment.
Thank you.
Get involved, guys.
Yes.
See you later.